All right, today we're going to talk about something that seems super basic, right? A piece of language we all learn about as kids, but it holds this surprising hidden complexity and power. We are talking about nouns.
I mean, come on, nouns. They're just naming words, aren't they? Well, as we're about to find out, there's a whole world hiding just beneath that simple surface.
And here it is. This is the classic definition we all had to memorize in school. A noun is a naming word. It puts a label on everything in the world around us. Seems pretty straightforward, but this is just a launch pad. Because while that definition is simple, what nouns do is profound. They aren't just little labels, they are the fundamental structure. They are literally the backbone that our sentences and even our thoughts are built on.
Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start by looking beyond the simple name, then we'll get into the difference between general and specific, see how nouns can paint with words, cover the nitty-gritty details of ownership, and finally, wrap it all up with why this stuff truly matters.
So first up, let's just blow the doors off that simple definition. Nouns give us the framework to understand our entire world, not just the parts we can physically see and touch.
Yeah, of course they name the obvious stuff, people, places, and objects. But what's really fascinating is how they give shape to things we can't see. They let us grab onto and talk about huge ideas like freedom, powerful feelings like love, and these core concepts like justice. I mean, these are the nouns that really shape our lives.
Okay, building on that, let's dig into a really key distinction that gives our language its richness and color. And that's the difference between being general and being specific.
And you can see the contrast so clearly here. On the left, we've got common nouns. These are just general categories. But on the right, you've got proper nouns, and these give us a unique, specific identity. It's not just any writer, it's Premchand. Not just any city, it's New York City. And that capital letter is your big clue telling you, hey, this one's special.
And this is why it matters so much. The man went to the city. I mean, it's so vague, right? It's almost meaningless. But then you get Abraham Lincoln traveled to Washington, D.C., and boom, you have a vivid, specific, historical picture in your head. Proper nouns are what make our language come alive.
So nouns can be specific, but they can also, well, kind of poetic. Let's get into the more creative side of things and explore how we use collective and abstract nouns to describe groups and ideas in really imaginative ways.
You've got to love these. A murder of crows, how dramatic is that? A gaggle of geese, you can almost hear them hunking. These collective nouns, they're not just labels for a bunch of things. They create powerful images and give you this feeling of a single, unified group.
And this is like a little bit of language magic. It shows how we create names for things we can't physically touch. We can take an action, a verb, like to know, and poof, we turn it into a concept, an idea, knowledge. We do the same thing with qualities, turning brave into bravery. It's how we capture the essence of an idea itself.
So that kind of makes you think, doesn't it? Take a second. What's an abstract noun that really matters to you? Is it something like curiosity? Or maybe resilience? Just being able to name these things helps us understand them and value them in our own lives.
All right, let's shift gears from the poetic to the super practical. Showing ownership might seem like a tiny little detail, but trust me, getting possessive nouns right is absolutely vital if you want to communicate clearly.
Now, these rules might look a little tricky, but they follow a pretty simple logic. It's all about where you stick that apostrophe. If you have one owner, it's apostrophe S. If you have a group and their name already ends in S, the apostrophe just comes after it. See? These tiny little marks make a huge difference in what you're actually saying.
Oh, and here's a super quick but crucial tip. This is a really common mistake. Possessive pronouns, words like his, her, its, and their, they never, ever get an apostrophe. They're already doing the job of showing ownership on their own. Remembering that one little rule will make your writing so much more precise.
So, we've talked about different kinds of nouns, we've gone over the practical rules, now it's time to zoom out and tie it all together. Let's look at the big picture. Why does mastering all this stuff give our words so much power?
I absolutely love this analogy. Think about it for a second. In any sentence, the nouns are the characters. They're the ones doing the action, feeling the emotions, existing in the world you're describing. And if you don't have strong, clear actors, the whole scene just falls flat.
But it goes even deeper than that. On a fundamental level, nouns are how we sort and make sense of, well, everything. They are the landmarks on the mental map we all have of reality.
The more specific and nuanced our vocabulary of nouns is, the more detailed and sophisticated that map becomes.
And this example just nails the point perfectly. House versus home. I mean, technically, they both refer to a place where someone lives. But think about the feeling. A house is a structure, bricks and mortar. But a home, wow, that word carries warmth, belonging, emotion. The choice of just one noun can completely change everything. So we'll end with this thought. This whole thing isn't just about grammar. It's about how we think. The words we use to label our world don't just describe it. They actively shape how we perceive it. And that, right there, is the true hidden power of nouns.